subscribe show. YouTube, Cole Spivey. Yeah, man.
Now, I'm not saying this because I'm not on payroll from Johnny Depp or anything like that, but I was once one of his students, and he doesn't seem like, out of all the teachers that year in 2001, 2002, acting teachers or guest that came and was interviewed by James Lipton at the new school, the Actor Studio Drama School, by far he was one of the jolly ones, and I didn't really feel that there was really an ounce of aggression or threat really to anyone, other than, Richard Gere was a little, he had a little attitude, but just how Richard Gere is. It's just Richard Gere's nature. He's that way. And then, Will Smith was playing Muhammad Ali at the time, but he didn't go off and smack anybody or anything like that. But there was no, I wouldn't say there was a hint, an ounce of aggression or anything, He did toss a cigarette to one of the students, but the students bummed him for one. One of the students said, hey, I've got to walk back on the subway. Could I get one of your cigarettes? And Depp actually had one rolled and threw it out to him, which we thought was cool. I just didn't see that there was a guy there that could smack anyone around. Not even a fly. But that's just my personal opinion. You could get that, if you get that feeling when you meet certain people, you don't think that they would. Now, Marlon Brando, of course, on the other hand, I don't know. But he did talk about Marlon. Marlon did get upset with people. He did, but not a whole lot. Not like Sean Penn or something like that, Anyway, I don't know. I'm just saying from one actor to another actor, and from one person to another person, it just didn't seem like he was capable of really hurting anyone, I think one time he hollered something at Iggy Pop, but I think he was joking around. But as a jokester, I don't know. I just don't see it, But anyway, that's just me. That's my opinion. So obviously, from listening to more of the speeches the reactions in the courtroom, Depp has introduced a lady that was maybe a little bit like the lady in Misery, if you read Stephen King's, you dirty bird. Something to do with boots, and I am the one that takes your boots off, That can't be a lie. So it sounds a little strange. Listen. I know this for a fact. Women get to the point where they like to control men. It's just the way of their nature. It says it in the good book in Genesis. That's one of their curses, because they were the first to take the bite from the fruit of good and evil, and they became. Well, just read in Genesis. The woman will, in a way, be kind of at the beck and call, or you could say she'll, in a way, want to control the man, I think, is one of the things. She'll want to be the controller, right? And we have to be weary, because they want to control. Now, what that means is that they want to be in control. I think that's the whole reason I am not allowed to see my 3 children today, not even a photograph, is because that lessens her control of what she has of me, which is my 3 children. I can't see David, Elizabeth, and Gwendolyn because that lessens her control. Okay? And it hurts, because I have to go through a whole lot and drive all over the place and do all this stuff just to stay alive, just to survive, because that shows my situation. I mean, the Please Subscribe show is kind of a reaction to the fact that I'm, in a way, being controlled, right? When a woman lets go and allows the man to be the head of the household, there's more peace, right? But when the woman abandons and goes away and takes the kids and leaves and runs, she can start to form control, even by going to the government, right? And pointing at the man and wanting all these things from, and I have to work extra. My back is sore. I'm hurting. I'm in pain. It's a tough life because I am being controlled, right? And it hurts, right? And I'm seeing this with the Depp trial. It's bringing me back to some of the things I'm going through, because it sounds like to me at some point in this relationship that he had with this woman, Amber, she became very controlling, right? And she still will probably be that way. And this is the curse. It goes all the way back to Genesis. It goes all the way back to the beginning of time. When Eve didn't exactly get her way. And what did Adam do when God came to Adam to say, Adam, what's going on? Why did y'all eat from this fruit of good and evil? And of course, Adam says, well, it was the woman. It was the woman. It was the woman, Lord, not me. You see what I'm saying? I have to say, and I talked to my pastor before all of this happened, in premarital, before we could even get to this point. I have not seen my children in 3 years. That the woman will do this. She will try to be the head of the household, which is not her nature. It is the man. According to the good book, according to God's plan, we're the head of the household. And what that means is that we're the spiritual leader. We are to be the spiritual leader, and we get that from above, from God above. Now, of course, not everyone's going to agree because of our society. The woman has been granted mega powers. And, I'm not calling all women witches at all. There are women out there that are very graceful and peaceful and quiet and good-natured and godly and will do and follow God's plan. But look, going off and publishing lies or, just harmful things to hurt somebody, this goes back a long ways. We're talking about Arthur Miller writing about the crucible kind of thing, And there are men sitting in jail today. And I don't think that's going to happen in the Depp case at all. I don't think that's going to happen. But there are men that are in jail today because of a woman's word. So my hat's off to the guy, great acting teacher.
Approaching a railroad crossing.
Thanks, R2. A great acting teacher, as you can see. But it's still a pretty good acting teacher. If she's lying, then it's time for her to confess, I think. But do they ever change? I mean, will my wife change and say, honey, I'm sorry. Here are the kids. Here's what we created together with the help of God. You can look upon them. You can help them. You can, will this ever happen? I don't know. We're in a broken world. All right, we're taking this pizza pasta down this crazy country road right here. Usually I don't get these types of roads too often, but you'll see large potholes like that. Well, that one's not too bad, but you don't want to just speed down. I didn't even see this road. It's off-road, really. Or what I call a hidden drive, which I did write a play called Hidden Drive and posted it on SoundCloud. Had even a whole cast of characters. A good play about a character named Peter Wright and his drunk wife Sharon Wright and a mistress known as Angie Summers. And Angie Summers comes upon him in a cabin located off the Moosehead Trail in Maine. And she is lost trying to get to California from Maine. It starts from there, and long process, kind of a play about generations coming to a close and a new generation starting. It has a character in it called the Google Home box. I call it the Google Home box. It has a mind of its own, so the robot talks throughout the play in certain moments, almost a narration, explaining that it is a play. So it comes from almost like an Alexa kind of thing. It's part of one of the characters. And then Peter's the writer. Angie Summers is the young mistress lady. And then Sharon Wright comes all the way from Texas to Maine to basically intrude upon his attempt at even writing a play. And the play that he's writing is called the Peter Gibbons is I'm sorry, Peter Gibbons, I'm getting into office space here. Peter Wright, sorry, I jumped into office space for a minute. So I used to be a writer. The play originally that Peter Wright was writing was called I know the word broken is in it. I'm gonna have to think about what the play was. It was a fictional play that he was writing. The character, the protagonist. Something about a broken... Something about promises and broken... Home, the word home is in it. Home, broken, and promises are all in it. Anyway, I'm trying to find this place. Let me tell you, I'll get to what the fictional play was about Peter's play, Peter Wright. Okay, I had to switch over to another app, and I switched to Google Maps, which is own Waze anyway. I don't know why they do this to me, but they took me behind all the houses that I have to go. So that's how, and here comes a vehicle now, which I don't know what we're gonna do on this one because there's only room for one. So I'm gonna put my brights on, which they're already on, and I'm gonna hope that he sees me because I'm gonna have to go all the way around. And Linda wanted to go out to Arlington, or she had the idea of going out to Arlington to do Hell's Gate and the Screaming Bridge. So I told her if we're gonna do that, we're gonna have more equipment, possibly a Garmin. I don't know if you know what a Garmin is, but at least some good drinking water. Okay, he's pulled over. Thanks, appreciate that. Got some bumpy roads here. So I really should never have gone down this hidden drive, but it does go to this little neighborhood of two houses, I guess you could call it, if you want to call that a neighborhood. But as I was saying, Peter writes a play about his life, and that's what the play is happening in Hidden Drive. He writes his play in his cabin about his life. Sharon is spying on him in a way and comes to this little town of Maine where Angie Summers comes in and wants a ride. She's trying to get a ride out of town, and she comes in for a while because the whole time there's a blizzard going on. So she gets stuck in the house. Eventually a pastor that's from a convention, this is basically like a Baptist convention, is in town, and he gets lost too and ends up at the cabin too and attempts to save Peter. It's somewhat kind of faith-based a little bit. He leaves and goes back into the blizzard, and they end up leaving, and they get swallowed into the blizzard too. And Sharon also gets swallowed into the blizzard. Sharon Wright. So they all three, the blizzard takes all of them. It's basically implied that the blizzard takes them. You never actually see it, although you do see Sharon, the ex-wife. She actually falls into the snow. You don't see her actually die, but you see her fall into the snow in the end. I'm taking a lot from Ibsen's Easter. Have you ever seen Easter by Ibsen? But it's a play that I'm pretty proud of, that I did do a reading of, called Hidden Drive by my pen name Ash Cole. And it's floating out there on SoundCloud, but I have a copy if you want me to send it to you. It's a pretty good one. It's a play, though. It's supposed to be a play. It could be turned into a screenplay, but it's a play. It was originally supposed to be a play called Hidden Drive. It's a pretty good one. It's kind of a comedy too. I'm still trying to think of that fictional name, because that was the fictional name of the play was actually the real name of the actual play, but I made it the play that Peter was writing. Broken World was part of it, I think. I remembered it. I now remembered it. It's something that you want to do when you want to go home again. Homesickness for a Broken World was the original title, and the title that Peter is writing, Homesickness for a Broken World. He was homesick to go back to his broken world, which his world was broken. It's kind of about divorce. It's about, also, you got to realize Sharon Wright wants him to return back to his daughter. So his daughter is back in Texas, and he's stuck writing this novel in the middle of the blizzard in Maine. So she tries to coach him back. It's a pretty good play.